Hi guys, welcome to Upward Incense Tarot. So, my name is Bethany. I wanted to do something a little different and I put a poll out on my IG and people voted. They'd rather have me do a psychic story time instead of zodiac monthlies, which I might do anyway, but I just decided to start with this. So, I've had psychic gifts my whole life. I've been developing my whole life. So, sorry, I fidget a lot. I have lots of stories. I used to call them like ghost stories. And I mean, like maybe some of them are, but I still think you have to have. I don't think you have to have a psychic gifting to experience a ghost, but to experience them to the level that I have and to the frequency that I have, probably. So yeah. Okay, I don't even know where to start. Let me just start, you guys. Let me start with the first story. So this is the first encounter that I ever had with the supernatural. When I was little, I used to be like so fearful. Like I was like so afraid of the dark and so afraid of everything, and I hated sleeping alone. And I was just like a scared little kid, and I would have nightmares all the time. So for the longest time, honestly, until like a couple years ago, I just thought this was a crazy nightmare. And then like looking back and piecing it together and realizing part of the story happens when I'm asleep, and then it like continued to when I was awake. And so looking back years later, I realized that was like a psychic or supernatural experience that wasn't just a dream, Beth. So anyway, this is what happened. So I was 4 years old and I was in our like family home that I first lived in, and the way the house was laid out is my room was up front, and then there was a hallway to my parents' room, and there was just a bathroom in between, so it was just right there, and then all my brothers were upstairs. So I was downstairs with my parents and on the main level, and I would always have nightmares, and I would always get scared and run into my parents' room. You can ask them. I slept in their bed so many nights because I was terrified. Because I was a little kid and I was developing these gifts and I didn't know what it was. I just thought I was having nightmares over and over and over and over again every night. So I was just freaked out. So anyway, when I was little, like one of my biggest fears was spiders. I hated spiders. Like I had arachnophobia. It was the 90s. I think there actually was like a made-for-TV movie called Arachnophobia. Like it was a big thing. Like we just were terrified of spiders. Like we were just even scared to like kill them. We always thought they were gonna jump on us and whatever. So as like a little 4-year-old, like that was like my like the scariest thing I could think of was like spiders and like dead things. And so I went to bed one night and my parents always tucked me in, and then I was like falling asleep. I always had the hardest time falling asleep because I was scared because I didn't want to have a nightmare. So that tells you how often this happened. I was basically just like bullied spiritually until I figured out what the hell was going on and like learned how to defend myself. So that was my childhood. Sorry, I fidget a ton. Just get used to it. This is why I don't do face videos anymore, is because I fidget so much. It's embarrassing. Anyway, I think it's a nervous tick. So enough about me. So, okay, when I was 4, like spiders were so scary. So I went to bed. My mom tucked me in. I just fell asleep, and then I had this crazy dream that like a million bazillion trillion spiders were coming up the walls, just like filling the walls. Like my walls were like pink or something, and I was little, and they were like filling them like black spiders, just like filling them, going all the way up to my ceiling and then coming over my ceiling. So it was just like my whole room was full of spiders, and then they started dropping on me, like millions of them. And I was a tiny little kid, you guys. Like this was so freaking scary to me. I can't describe. this is it. So I was little, and this was so scary. And so for some reason I had like kind of taught myself how to like wake myself out of like bad dreams, because they happen so often. I would like shake myself out of them and like run to my parents' room and jump in their bed. So I like woke myself up because I was like so afraid that they were all gonna land on me, all the spiders. And I remember like laying in bed and I was like blinking my eyes and I could like still see them. Like they're all like kind of sparkly and white. They were still there, like coming on me, but I was awake. So this is like stressing me out. So I'm just like so terrified and I didn't know what to do. So the only thing I think of is like run to my parents' room. So I just like jump out of bed. I like finally get like enough courage to like jump out of bed and I like run for my door. And this is the creepy part. I like go to reach for my door handle to like escape and get to my parents' room. And instead of a door handle, you know, like, I don't know where this like comes from, but like the islands, you know, like pygmy or whatever it is, like how they have those like little shrunken skull things, like creepy little shrunken skulls, like that was what my door handle looks like. So instead of a door handle, it was like this little like pygmy head shrunken skull. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. I don't know if it's the right culture, but you guys know what I mean. It's like an island thing, like I don't know. There's these people that like shrink skulls, and so or like kids, I don't even know. Anyway, it's creepy. So I didn't want to grab it because it's terrifying, but I didn't want to be in the room anymore because I could still see the spiders. So I remember just like closing my eyes and like reaching for the door and turning it and running. And I remember it didn't like feel weird. It was like in my head, like I was like seeing it, but like anyway, it just felt like a normal door handle when I grabbed it. So then I run to my parents' room and then I dive in the bed in between them. And they're like snoring super loud. They don't even hear me come in. And I just like tuck under the covers and I'm just like terrified. And this creepy part is like they were still falling on me. Like I could still see them in my parents' room. Like whatever it was, like followed me in there. And I was like trying to close my eyes and I could still see him. And I was like open my eyes, I could still see him. And I remember like burrowing into like my mom or like my dad, like just trying to like get so close to someone because I was like so afraid. And I don't even think I woke them up. I think I was like too shy. I don't think I even woke them up. I just like tried to fall asleep and I think eventually did. But yeah, that was my first encounter with like something supernatural that I remember. And I was like 4. That's pretty young. And my whole life I was just like, oh, it's this crazy nightmare I had when I was little. And then like a couple years ago, as I was developing my gifts, I was like, dude, that wasn't a nightmare because I was awake. Like I was asleep and then I was awake. And you know, it's weird, like throughout my life, as I've had a lot of supernatural experiences that have happened in dreams, and a lot of them transfer or they like follow you, or I might do more story times. I don't know how many I can do in one video without it getting too long. So I might do like mini stories. Yeah, like supernatural, paranormal, ghost stories, psychic stuff, just like weird stuff that's happened to me that y'all might be entertained by. So you can enjoy it. Because it's scary to live through and now it's kind of funny to look back on. But yeah, that was the first one. I realize now like that was definitely a psychic attack because there's no reason I should have still seen things when I was still awake. I think I was just too little to know what the hell was going on, and I didn't know at the time anything about my gifts. I just thought I had nightmares all the time and I was a scared little kid. So that's my first psychic story. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you've ever had like dreams like that, if you've ever had experiences like that. Do you ever like dream something and then it comes true, or dream something and then it's like happening when you wake up, or like sleep paralysis? Like I have just stories like that I can tell you guys. Yeah, we'll get into it. So yeah, if you like this, let me know and I'll make some more. Talk to you soon. Bye guys.